What do you guys? How do you feel about in this day and age that we're in now, where you can order online and maybe our purchasing habits have changed a little bit. What's your view on sort of like customer service? What equates to or good customer service for you in the current environment?
Wow, that's a good question.
I think it's severely lacking. I think we've become the business of, and I'm talking on the UK side, there's such a volume of online ordering. It's become habit. You can order something in the morning, it arrives in the afternoon. The industry behind the logistics is booming. And it's become such a big thing. And if I had a courier come and collect something this week, and I'll use this as an example. I over-ordered something and I needed to go back, and I tried to schedule the courier to come and collect it. And when this guy arrived, he was doing, and bearing in mind, we have a number of courier companies that do home deliveries. There's loads of companies that do it, and the volume of them, you see the trucks constantly in your street all the time. And I looked at this guy, because you can track your driver and see where he's at. And he's like, well, he's half a kilometer away from you. You are number 87, pickup number 87. He's on pickup number 12, and he'll be there in 45 minutes. I'm like, what? Start doing the math. These guys are knocking on doors like every minute and a half to drop off a pickup.
That's insane.
And they on a tight schedule, day in, day out. I don't know how they do this. I have sympathy for them. But behind the scenes, the companies are making a huge amount of money on this, on these logistics. And the service I got was pretty dire, except for the guy at the door who was trying to help.
Yeah.
But I tried. There's no way to phone anyone to say there's something gone wrong with this collection. There was no. Eventually, I scratched around and found the actual depot's number. Phoned the depot. Poor customer service there. It's all online. You can only do stuff online, and when it doesn't follow process online, it doesn't work. So I'm missing that touch. If I get that it's trying to make your life easier, but when it doesn't work properly, and there's no way around it. So I think that's just one thing.
Sure. And then what do you? In terms
in anything I phone up customer service center, you don't have customer service. You are another number in the queue that they're trying to churn out as fast as possible. And whether that's my broadband provider, I remember those days, where you'd be on hold for 2 hours, or even the online bots that they use, just not geared up for it.
Yeah.
So we're missing that touch. And if I look at, change that completely, and I am rambling a bit. If I look at my little village's high street, the main street where all the shops are, the shops that are starting to emerge, and because of online ordering, a lot of traditional shops have shut because there's not enough footfall. And they're starting to come back again because of customer service. I walk into a shop, I know the guy's name, we've established rapport over time, and I'm like, if they go, then this customer service doesn't exist in any context.
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't exist today, customer service, unless you have a good shopkeeper that has the personality for it. I don't feel welcome as a customer anywhere, except these shops. And when things go wrong, the service I'm getting is with disdain. So, yeah, there you go.
Are you done? Are you done?
You did ask.
I'm sorry, I did.
I got a few comments to make because I do online shopping for computer parts and stuff quite often. So, and I had a very interesting experience, literally a couple of days ago when something went wrong. Not with the specifically stuff that I ordered. I'll tell you what the example is. But what I wanted to say is the only thing from basically customer service perspective, what you look at is speedy, timely delivery, right? Like when you order an item, taking into account that you get the right item and it's not damaged and everything's hunky-dory. The only thing that you're really going to look at when everything is going right is the speedy delivery, right? You order the item, they tell you that it will take 3 days to get there, or let's just say it will take you a week to get there, and then on a week dot you get the stuff. That creates a very positive impression. Doesn't matter if it's like 4 days, 5 days, as long as it's on time, as long as it's like you're expecting it on the day and you get it on the day. I think that's really good. And in terms of customer service, things really get tested once things go wrong. So in terms of you get the wrong item, not what you ordered, you get a damaged item, right? Whether it was damaged item from the onset, or it was damaged during the transportation, or alternatively, you don't get your item delivered at all, right? All of this happens, fairly rarely. My example, though, is it was actually, I have been subscribing to Bitdefender, which my antivirus installed on 3 home computers. And what happened during last time, and I haven't noticed, is their subscription process had an auto-renew feature turned on by default. And because it was small text and was a really small checkbox, and you have to scroll to get to it, right? I didn't see it, so it was turned on. So what happened was the auto-renew feature kicked in, and what they did is they nailed everyone with the auto-renew feature at like 40% premium to what the product actually cost. So then I was like, well, that's pretty shady. It's like, A, I didn't get a notification email that it's about to kick in. B, it's like number one, if you charge the regular price, like the similar type of price that I paid last year, that's fine. What they did is they basically doubled it. They doubled it. And I went on Twitter and I saw a lot of people are complaining about it, saying, okay, well, if I actually buy a product from scratch, it's going to cost me like 50% less. And the guys are saying, we're sorry, like the process wasn't well, like designed and thought after. But I'm like, for me, it's an issue of trust, right? You have a security company that looks after the security on my home computers and the PC infrastructure, the IT infrastructure, and then they do this. So I emailed them saying, cancel my subscription, refund me. They say, okay, refund is not an option, but what we can do is we can give you a 50% discount on your current subscription. So it runs for a year, and then you can choose not to renew. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's fine.
But then you got the same problem in a year's time.
No. Then
he unticked the box.
Then they told me, it's like, no, go to your profile, disable this feature, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So I went there and I disabled that feature.
Yeah.
So I was like, I told them, guys, the Bitdefender subscription support team, like, this is what you're doing is you're just damaging your brand. Because like, if I can't trust you to do the right thing, because you have my credit card information, right? If I can't trust you to do the right thing, like, no matter how good your product is, doesn't matter if it's the best in the world, I'm still not going to get it.
Yeah, so
those 3 words is the ones I hate when you speak to somebody in customer service and they go, I'm sorry, but.
I'm sorry, but anything after but is bullshit.
Yeah, you're not sorry. And
yeah. So, well, the reason why I brought it up was because recently I tried to order something online, not from my usual Take-A-Lot website. I ordered from another website, and I ordered
Alibaba?
it when sorry?
Alibaba?
No. Yeah, in South Africa. And as I ordered it, when I ordered it, it was in stock. And I placed the order, paid the money, and when I got the confirmation email with the link to say, okay, this is where you can track your order, and I go tracking the order and it says on order, right? So I mail them and say, listen, what's the deal? Does that mean that it's on back order now? And they're like, I send the mail, wait 2 days, get a response, say, yes, it's on back order. It'll arrive in a month's time.
Yeah, I avoid, dude. Like, I avoid dealing with dealing with suppliers that don't have a good stock management system, right? Like, because it actually never happened to me, but with the PC stuff, the guys that generally maintain really good record, and you can see is like how many items are left, or whether you can
Well,
order.
look, I mean, this was on. I mean, and I'll name it the other website that's
The other website.
yeah, just behind Takealot is Loot. I don't know if you've ever used Loot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was Loot, right?
Avoid them like hell.
Yeah, well, the problem is when you're looking for something and no one's got it and they're the only one that's got it.
Yeah,
Like, you take a
I would still just order it from Amazon though.
Yeah, but the problem is that on Amazon it would cost me double the price.
It's fine.
Right. So is it fine? Anyway,
It's
so what
fine.
happened was, what happened late in the week, I saw someone else had this thing in stock. Okay. But it wasn't an online website, it was advertised on Facebook. So I messaged them. I said, "Hey, listen, what's your stock level?" Okay, no, we've got 6 left. So I said, "Okay, I want to order." So call, send me the quote, and they said like, "Okay, can you pick up today?" I said, "Okay, I can pick up today, no problem." Get in my car and I'm on my way, and the next minute, I get a message and I say, "Hey, listen, I'm on my way," and I get the message back and say, "Ooh, sorry, those 6 that we had in stock." Someone went and bought all of them. And by the time we
Wow.
want to do, so like I'm
Wow.
getting a little bit agitated because like now this is the second
Yeah.
time it's happened to me. You see?
Like
So anyway, so I messaged the guy
you've been-
back.
You've been stalked by scalpers.
Yeah. So anyway, so I messaged the guy back and I said, "Oh shit, I've just cancelled my other order, the one that's on back order. You see." So anyway, the guy says, "Oh no, shit, he's really sorry," and I'm like, I'm like muttering a little bit. Anyway, so I said, "Okay, listen, dude, it's fine. It's not a problem. I've been able to reverse my cancellation on Loot, so it's fine. Don't stress." 7 o'clock that night, I get a message from the director of the company to say, "Hey, listen, he's arranged. They're going to have 10 more in stock tomorrow morning, and he's going to put 2 aside for me, and I must just confirm with him in the morning that whether I want them." So I said, "Yeah, cool, no problem." So in the morning, the guy sends me the quote. That's cool. I'm happy. No problem. He'll keep them for me. I drive through. I go pick up my stuff. Everything goes according to plan. Good service, in my view. Because, I mean, the guy went out of his way to make sure that he had more stock, contacted me after business hours to try and assist me. So, yeah, so I just want to give them a bit of a shout out. The company's name is Designer Tech. And so if anyone's listening and looking for computer parts and just I would hook them up.
Absolutely. Shout out the good ones.
Yep.
Yeah. We need a way
Well,
of
I think-
poo-pooing the bad ones.
Yeah, I think often that's what happens is you only complain about the things that go wrong, and when things go right, or when they go right, or they go better than just right, sometimes we're a bit lazy in terms of putting it out there. And I've complained about Harley Davidson on this on the weekend crack before because I got some bad service from them, and thought I'd flip it around and just talk about some good service that I received recently.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean it's and also the other thing is that, like Lester was saying, and like what both you were saying. One, Oleg, you were saying, like, you only really know how good the service is when something goes wrong. Okay, which is fair enough, and something went wrong, and this is the service that I got, right? And then what you were saying, Lester, is that it's this personalized sort of interaction that you have. The comparison between ordering something online and it going wrong and not being able to speak to anyone versus dealing with a company not through an online store, but okay, fine, it was on Facebook Marketplace. But I mean, you can have a conversation with a guy, and then thereafter having the face-to-face interaction with the person. When you would go and pick up your stuff, and again, like you were saying, okay, shit, I'm sorry, it went like that. The one guy came in and bought 6 at once, and it was a timing issue. But anyway, glad that we could help you, kind of thing. So yeah, it was It was good.
I'm just thinking in my work world, I deal with a lot of suppliers, and it is it's relationships that we establish over years because we're specialized services in many cases. But even for the commodity stuff we buy repeatedly, um, I get very tired very quickly of so-called account managers giving me lip service. That they're actually destroying their own relationship with me if they just give me lip service, the standard stuff. They haven't been trained to work at this level. But if I flip the coin and think about how we treat our customers, we're probably just, there's probably customers who are just as frustrated as I would be if the roles were reversed. On some corners we give exceptional service and some we don't. So for me, it's about whether, and we do our customer satisfaction surveys and things, but which is great. But as long as we do something about it, so we can actually see a difference, so we can improve over time. That's key. It's never going to go, swimmingly well every time there's an issue. But what do you do about that? And at the moment, I think the general world is there's such a volume with this large organization, such a volume of complaints and issues that they're just focusing on getting the issue resolved, as far as they're concerned, resolved. They're not really capturing the essence of the issues. There doesn't seem to be any learning behind it. We can't, they might have the same problem 100 times over in a week. Do they recognize that there is an issue? I don't know.
Mm. Yeah.
Lester, I got a question. Do you know what a scalper is?
A what?
Scalper.
I don't
Like
think
in
so.
the American context, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Because in America, scalpers are big.
Well, like globally these days, scalpers are big. So a scalper.
But I mean, we don't really call them scalpers in South Africa.
How would we call them?
We just call them arseholes.
Okay,
Scalums.
Well, that's good.
Scalums, yeah, scalums. That's the right word. Tjops.
So a scalper is a person or group of people, or it could even be a pre-programmed bot that basically just buys large quantity of specific thing with the intention of reselling it at the higher price, right? So in the computer components thing, the most famous scalper example is there's currently like a huge graphics card shortage globally, right? So when the companies basically release like 20, 30 units, like 90% of that stock is bought by scalpers who then will resell those at 30% or 40%. Some of them will resell them at double the price the next day.
It's supply and demand. They're manipulating.
Because there's such a huge demand, right? Such a huge demand, and people are really willing to pay anything. It's like there's such a huge demand. There's huge incentive to scalp, like on different websites, even Amazon. Amazon is like when those cards go on sale, you just see stock like 50 in stock. Then the 5-second refresh, it's like 2 in stock. Then another 5-second out of stock. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's time consuming. Yeah, you've got to have a right script behind it to do that.
Yeah.
But yes, scalums is the right word.
Scalums is the right word.
Tjotsies, yeah.
Tjotsies, yeah.